Today I wanted to talk about a topic that I'm actually qualified to talk about, and that would be running. I've been running cross country and track for the past 11 years, so I've developed a few tips on how to get in shape and run fast during races. Here they are. So maybe you've just signed up for a race and you're wondering, what kind of training plan should I use? Now I'm here to tell you, it does not matter what you do. As long as you do some speed, because you're not going to get faster unless you do speed. You do a distance longer than the race. Maybe if you're doing a marathon, this isn't going to work, but if you're doing a shorter race, make sure that you get up above the race distance so that you have some endurance. And beyond that, the nitty-gritty details don't really matter. You want to have hard days and easy days, but it doesn't matter if you do 4 200s or 10 100s. Doesn't matter if you do a 3-mile run followed by a 6-mile run. Doesn't matter if you do it at 7-minute pace or 9-minute pace. It really just matters how difficult your overall training is. So if you're not doing it very difficult and you're just going out for a nice easy run and then you do a workout and it's only 3 repeats of 100, it's not going to do much for you. Same thing goes if you're doing hard workouts. So if you're running 5 repeats of mile, if you're running a tempo run for 5 miles, that's going to be doing a lot for you. One of the main keys to a successful race is having rest beforehand. I know if you're in the middle of a season and you only have 2 days between races, 3 days between races, and you want to get in a workout in between that, you're not going to have the most rest possible. But if it's a big race or you're just training for a one-off race, you want to make sure that the 2 to 3 days beforehand, you're taking it nice and easy. You might not even need to run the day before the race. That way you're rested up, ready to go, and it's amazing how much difference it'll make if you're rested on race day, whereas if you're a little bit sore, it'll take a lot of time off your race. Another question you might have is, how far should you be running for the distance that you're training for? And I've done everything between 800 and a half marathon, and I've really not been that big into the long distance training. I've only run more than 45 miles in a week 4 times, and all of those were at a running camp. So I've always figured if I'm training at 7 miles for my long run, that's long enough. I've never been into the big half marathon long runs on Saturdays. But if you're running a shorter distance like the 800 or the mile, keep in mind that even though you're only running a mile, you still want to be training longer distances like 5-6 miles. You don't just want to be doing a 2-mile, 3-mile run for your long run, because that's not really going to give you the endurance that you need. Another lesson that I learned is that when you're training longer distances, you want to keep up a reasonable pace. The summer before my senior year of high school, I trained to get mileage, but I didn't really focus on pace at all. I would run 6 miles a day at 10-minute pace. Yes, 10-minute pace. So I came into the season having more mileage than I had ever had before, but I really didn't have a good base of speed, and I didn't end up doing well that season. So you really want to focus on making sure that your long runs have a reasonable speed. If you're looking to run a 17-minute 5K, you're probably going to want to do long runs at 7-minute pace or 7:30 pace, nothing up near the 10-minute mark like I was. After you run a race, they say that you should keep your blood flowing, do a little cool down, stretch a little bit. Not a big fan. I prefer to lounge, lay down, have a nice rest. That's how you get rested up for your next race. So 10 out of 10 recommend laying down, maybe even having a little nap. Just be aware that in doing so, you open up the possibility for teammates to take a picture of you and create a meme. But it's okay, because as long as you show them up in the race, they can't do anything more than meme you. In order to be a good runner, you need to do more than just run. So if you're on a team with a coach, you're definitely going to have to go through this, but maybe if you're running by yourself, you're not focused on this so much. But it's important to focus on doing legs and core. They'll help keep you strong during a race. I'd recommend a whole bunch of exercises like lunges, squats, bear crawls, inchworms, and for core, stuff like sit-ups, oblique twists, leg lifts, scissor kicks, and V-ups. They'll help improve your strength and keep you going during the race. You've probably been to a pasta dinner before a race, or just eaten pasta on your own before a race thinking that it's going to help you. And I would agree that eating pasta the day before is very helpful, a lot more helpful than, say, eating a prime rib steak or something. But I think the more important thing is not eating certain things before a race. So the day of a race, you want to make sure you're not eating any kind of difficult to digest foods like meats, cheeses, or liquids that are pretty viscous, maybe like milks or coffees. That's going to hurt you in a race and potentially give you cramps and not provide the energy that you need. Also, I tended to eat a lot of sweets at pasta dinners, so they'd actually end up making my diet worse than it would be if I just ate dinner on my own normally. So avoid eating stuff like that so that you'll have a good race and be fueled up properly. Thank you for watching my video. Hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. But thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.